Alright, so after some fiddling, I don't actually know what happened. I'm hoping that the changes fixed it. It seemed like it fixed it for a little bit, but then Lancelot here went and wrecked the ever-loving hell out of their leader. So, gonna end up testing this later. So, basically what you're seeing on all these screens is the biggest weirdness as far as this game goes. Instead of individual levels, it is entire classes that get them. This is going to be the Order of Peasants. Because they got no formal training and they don't plan to get any. Oh yeah, so this is one of the new characters they added there. The totally not Agrius looking lady down at the bottom. Everyone's gonna talk about how they all got jobs now and it's all good and great. So you recruit people. Yeah, so get a pretty basic party right off the bat. And we'll see how many of these people actually make it to the end of the first chapter. Because usually, if you're going to be losing people, it's going to be at the beginning and at the end. The middle kind of eases up a bit, and I guess it's actually going to change a bit, because without any skills to speak of, then, well, there won't be any of that. So there won't be any distance healing other than lobbers. I don't think lobbers are even available at this point. I want to say that's Chapter 2. Yeah, so no lobbers available yet. Those are your item throwing thing. Now, as far as the different weapons go, most of them are just a matter of, like, tiny preferences. So, fists... okay, to kind of explain the system here, on the top right, you got your distance, your, like, striking distance, and your RT. Those are the ones that are gonna matter a bit. So your RT is just your recovery time. It's just the tiny fraction of amount of time that it adds to how long it takes to get back up, to get your turn back, rather. So the distance you travel and the number of actions you take all will set back your RT. So you want to have as low a number as possible. Now, daggers are going to be your fastest thing. Fists are inexplicably heavy. For some reason they're heavier than swords, and I don't know why, because they're just like fist weapons. Anyhow, broadswords are only slightly heavier than swords themselves. But, yeah, spears, also inexplicably heavy. I mean, you'd think hammers would be the heaviest, but they're not. Staves are also barely worth it. Because, unlike some other games, honestly, staves barely matter. In this case, they add a very, very tiny amount to your stats, and they're not useful as weapons, so you're better off just having naked mages. As far as these weapons go, the two-handed ranged weapons are the exception, though. Because the little ones, there's kind of a weird system where the weight partially affects armor piercing, as I understand. Like it was a bit unclear, but pretty much the ramp at which the two-handed weapons go up is absurd. Like, their range is almost twice as far, they hit almost twice as hard, and with one exception, midway through the game, they're just the way to go. So there is unfortunately a level cap on these, or a level minimum, so that's on the top right. And as far as two-handed bows right now, well, actually, archers are the only ones that can use the two-handed bows. One-handed are a bit more open, and you get some other classes that can use them too. Two-handed crossbows, I believe, are archers and dragoons. And regular crossbows have a lot of classes that can use them. Like, original game, the original Tactics Ogre back in '95, basically anyone could use anything. And really the one or two-handed bows was really just a matter of convenience. There wasn't as much of an attempt to balance, even though the balance is kind of screwy in this game. Alright, so, with all that out of the way, as far as these guys go, I'm not really going to lock anyone into any new weapons just yet. Basically, just want to see how everyone is doing as they are, and I want to get everyone to about level 5-ish. But they start you off with a lot of classes, and as it stands, those aren't going to work. So, for one thing, there's absolutely no point in having a healer at all. So, Knights are going to be good, but they're going to be slow is the problem. But I do need a tank. So I'm going to do, I think I'm probably going to do mostly Knights, Fencers, and Archers for the early game. Let me get some more marks for them. And unfortunately, there's another thing that they added. You gotta do this weird class mark system. And some of them you just can't get. Actually, this ties into one of the runs I wanted to do, which was a Fusilier run. The very last class you get. And Fusiliers are basically your gunners this time around. Guns aren't fantastic. Actually, crossbows pretty much outdo them in every single possible way. But they're good. They're decent, I should say. Now, I'm not really using these guys for any of their support abilities. Actually, I'm only using them because they can use spears. Now, the function of the Fencers, or the Rune Fencers, they're supposed to be like a all-around support class. So you basically just give them like ranged weapons or spears or something, keep them off on the sidelines until they have an opportunity to hit something. Melee weapons they have sitting around. You'll do fine with an axe for now. I mean, the nice thing about not having any skills this time around is simply gonna be because it's a lot easier to do all this part. I'm gonna do kind of like a bronze man kind of thing here. I'm gonna try to, if the party wipes, then I'm gonna change it. But more likely, I'm just gonna kind of plow through everything. Now, yeah, this is definitely subject to change, but yeah, these Fencers here, they're just meant as a support unit, so they can heal. They have a self-healing move as well, so they're kind of just an all-around support unit. They kind of suck at any kind of magical attacks, but they're there for mostly plinking damage. Later in the game, they just end up doing anywhere from 1 to 20 most of the time. So they're really just there for harassment at that point, but they can run up. They have they can use the main healing ability, so you would run up, have them heal somebody. If they get hit, the bar on the top right is their tactical points. They are able to basically just use those to just suddenly transfer all those into their health, so they can more or less do a insta-heal of themselves without even taking a turn. So, they're good. Like, offensively, they're not much to write home about, but I personally like them. Anyhow, I will mess with some more settings. Hopefully can actually get the issue with the text fixed.